how groups access other resources. They either do it by collaborating with other people, or they do it by forcing other people to give them those resources. Okay, the difference between that is whether or not you sort of achieve power with other people, or if you achieve power over other people. Okay, and so what I mean by that is, just to use the same example of the civil rights movement, you know, African Americans, they couldn't integrate public institutions by themselves. They had to force the U.S. government, they had to force, you know, all these white politicians to make, you know, to change American law to integrate public institutions. And they weren't going to get these people, the white politicians, to say, oh, sure, you want to integrate public institutions? Great, we'll do it for you, right? Like, that wasn't going to happen. What they had to do is force the politicians to do what they wanted, right? And they forced by organizing the March on Washington, by organizing bus boycotts, by freedom, you know, all these different tactics that they used to eventually create enough disruption that politicians said, you know, they cried uncle, right? They basically said, all right, we give in, we'll do what you want, right? Because you're forcing us to do what you want. That's power over. Another example is power with, right? Sometimes you don't have to force people to do what you want. You have to work with other people to work towards a shared purpose. And so an example that I was talking about with some other folks this morning is there's a campaign that I've been working on in South Carolina, which is a state in the United States, one of the southern states in the United States. It has some of the, there's a part of South Carolina that has some of the worst health outcomes across the country, right? Really high rates of disease, obesity, diabetes, heart conditions, really high rates of uninsurance, because we don't have a public insurance system in the U.S., you know. And so all these different health problems that are endemic to this area. And in order to make there's a large African American constituency in that area that wants to make change, right? But they can't do it alone, right? They need